Warning: the following video may contain harsh language, crude humor, and may offend unintentionally, and is an affiliate of Scythering Productions. The opinions and comments expressed do not reflect those of the Scythering team. All credit and criticism shall be warranted to TWS Productions. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, fans of Beyond the Mat and from all of our other previous syndications, better known as the Blacklist, the Wrestle Review, and everything that we had done a year ago. It has been a long time since I, DM, have been in front of all you people. Perhaps you can call this a different kind of show, a little bit of a spin-off off of the other show that I do and co-host, Beyond the Mat, for the Scythering team. Now, for episode 1 of this particular show is the topic of Jeff Hardy. What exactly do we do with Jeff Hardy? Now, there are so many angles and so many things that we could discuss and talk about. Let's just break it down to the basics. Right now, the big story that's floating around is, what is his status? What's going on with his court date? What does Jeff Hardy going to do if he's guilty or if he's not guilty, or what's going to happen from here? How is his TNA status? What does his career look like? How do the fans think of him right now? A lot of questions are being raised. Those of you that did not see the pay-per-view Victory Road, I've already heard about it, have seen it, or have read about it, or something of the nature, you know exactly what happened. Biggest problem that everyone right now is it's become a Jeff Hardy hates world kind of thing. Now the big thing is, what do we do with Jeff Hardy? Personally, if I was one of the head bookers, I wouldn't even allow Jeff Hardy in the damn building. You see Jeff Hardy, or any performer for that matter, stumbling around and can barely make it to the ramp, let alone in the building, you call the match off and you rebook something else. That's the only logical thing to do, but that's booking, and we'll get to that on another show. Here's what you do, at least in my humble opinion. From a wrestling fan that has never worked in the business and only knows the ins and outs from what he's experienced and from what he's seen from the eyes of a viewer and from with an opinion, personally, I would not have allowed that match to go on. I would have taken Jeff Hardy out completely and said, you know what, this is absolutely insane. This isn't the first time that Jeff Hardy's reportedly been injured or exhausted or tired or has had something wrong with him. Not for nothing, but I personally think that Jeff Hardy right now is a waste of space. He has become the epitome of absolute waste. Jeff Hardy, right now as we speak, has lost so much respect from fans all over the world. And when I mean all over the world, I'm talking everywhere, not just in the United States and Canada. I'm talking in Japan, I'm talking in Great Britain, I'm talking in all of Europe. It's absolutely incredible on how quick his stock has dropped. Personally, being a former Jeff Hardy fan, I saw his last match in WWE. I was there live. And we were all under the impression that he was going to just take some time off and come back. We never thought that we'd see him in TNA a month later. Number one, that was kind of a slap in the face to all the people that paid money to see him wrestle. And two, that was a great way to pull in ratings. Way to go with TNA, but the big problem is you also knew that Jeff Hardy had drug issues prior to the signing. So in essence, you really shouldn't have signed him. Number two, this whole Jeff Hardy thing, the whole main event and his whole drug troubles, it has completely brought the product down. Maybe not as a whole, because let's face it, it hasn't really gotten up there anywhere. But right now, it has completely destroyed a lot of the momentum that TNA was probably trying to get. Sting is now the world champion. Granted, he's got to be pushing 50, if not 51. And he's a world champion. The guy can't really wrestle as well as he could, but hey, for those of you that are Sting fans like myself, this is great. But it also comes at the expense of Mr. Anderson, who had a 1-month title run. It also came at the expense of AJ Styles. It also came at the expense of everyone from TNA that was attempting to actually get somewhere in the company, but no, the powers to be saw a star in Jeff Hardy, a star that of course WWE made famous, and they completely put him on the top pedestal and watched him drop. Of course, if they had an astringent drug policy, they wouldn't have allowed this to happen. The other issue is, of course, Jeff Hardy as a whole. How has he been as a person? And, quite frankly, we don't know how he is as a person. He's kind of like the Charlie Sheen of professional wrestling right now, or the Jake Roberts. We all know he's got drug troubles. We all know he got caught on September 11th, I think it was now 2 years ago, that this whole case thing has been going on. His case keeps getting delayed. He shows up all messed up. He comes here, he comes there, and he does this, and he does whatever he wants. He shows up late. He hasn't had the best year until, honestly, his whole run in TNA has not even been that stellar. It's not like he's putting on A-class matches. They're about maybe a B to a D minus at best. His last great match, sadly, was probably when he fought CM Punk at SummerSlam, I believe it was 2 years ago. That was probably his best match, and I'm sorry, but he has yet to compete at the caliber that he is. Now you could say he's probably burned out, and yeah, he's probably tired and exhausted, but when you go to TNA, you have less of a road schedule, so you can't say it's fatigue. There's absolutely no way you can call it fatigue. Right now, what they need to do, what the entire organization has to do, is take Jeff Hardy and throw him away. Literally, just get him out of professional wrestling altogether. The guy needs to straighten up his act. The guy needs to clean up his act. He needs to realize that this isn't just fun and games. Right now, he's got no passion. It shows in his work. He's got no intensity. He's got no desire. He wrestles as if he's just there for the money or if he's just there to prove a point. Whatever point that is, we don't obviously know. Now, there's another flip to the coin of this. Should we, as wrestling fans, look at it and go, well, we are kind of prying into the personal life of Jeff Hardy, and if we took out all that personal stuff and all the crap about him, if we took all that out, will we still enjoy his work? Or do we, as wrestling fans, pry so much into the wrestlers' lives that we spoil everything for ourselves and we make an opinion based upon their actions behind the camera as opposed to on camera? Because let's face it, on camera they're a totally different persona than they are off camera. Well, that's again another debate for another person. My personal opinion is, as professional wrestling fans, whether you're young or whether you're old, you pay hard-earned money to see these professionals bust their ass and put on a show for you. Now, yeah, there's the whole steroid thing and the whole drug thing and blah, 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 and that's how it's not necessarily a sport, but they have to be clean. I think as a wrestling community, not just as a whole, but as an entire group, as an entire nation, have so much respect for the art known as professional wrestling, as the business for professional wrestling, and as the sport of professional wrestling, that when we have a guy like Jeff Hardy that we all used to look up to in 1997, watched him rise all the way to the top of the tag teams, that had a singles career, that had a world title career, now to where he's at now, it's kind of heartbreaking to go, wow, we watched this guy's career from the ground up, and now look at him, he's a complete washout. So yeah, we can kind of see how we as wrestling fans take things a little personally, because we respect the art that of course is wrestling. And yeah, we know it's fake. Yes, we know it's all pre-taped and all pre-show. We understand that. We get that. We're not stupid. But we don't care about the fakeness. We don't care about any of that crap. We care about the drama. We care about the athleticism. We care about every little thing. It's like watching a movie. We know it's all fake, and we all know the actors are paid billions of dollars to play the roles. We care about the end product. And right now, the end product has not been too good when it comes to the form of Jeff Hardy. He needs to get himself into rehab. He needs to get himself away from professional wrestling and figure out if this is what he wants to do with the rest of his life. Because right now, there's not a lot of people on the Hardy wagon. And those of you that are still Hardy fans, either you are dead serious loyal to him or you're probably in denial. Personally, from a former Jeff Hardy fan, when I say former, I mean completely former. It is incredible how bad he's dropped. As a person, you can't say anything more, but, you feel sorry for the guy, but at the same time, you have to grow up. There's got to come a point in your life where you got to look at yourself and go, I got to get off this crap. Look what I'm doing for the people that are paying to see me perform, and I'm giving them this. Victory Road's end result was not because of Sting, was not because of Bischoff, was not because of Hogan, it was because of Jeff Hardy. Plain and simple. That is why everything lately in TNA has been the way it is, all due to the whole Jeff Hardy thing. And there's other things, but again, we'll get to that in a later episode. Those of you that agree with me, I would love to hear. Those of you that disagree with me, I'd love to hear that. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'd like to hear your comments. I'd like to see, what is it you guys feel about Jeff Hardy? Did he used to be a former hero of yours? Is he still your hero? Do you feel sorry for him, and do you think it's time to throw him away? Where right now does he stand on your level, on your echelon of respect? And let's not forget, we as wrestling fans respect the work that they do. But when they do what they do on a constant basis and screw the audience over, but in the form of Paul Heyman when he says, if you're going to fuck the audience, you have no respect. They put you on the map, they made you a star, and it is because of us, the wrestling community, that he is where he is now. If that's the case, what is it that we get? Where do you stand with Jeff Hardy? I would love to hear. Me and all the crew from the Scythe Ring team. Until next time, we'll see you on Beyond the Mat this weekend. Until next time, we'll see you then.